Unstable internet connection. I literally just started. I literally just got here. I have literally just arrived. Oh my god, everything's gone. Okay. Let me. Okay, where are we? Okay, there we go. Hello, hi, hello. Let's see. Let's see what's happening over on Purple. Drifter, thank you so much for the sub. You subscribed for 2 months. Thank you so much. Thank you. I also see Ferret here. Thank you so much for the... Get ready for this. 42 months? That is insane. Thank you so much. It's so cool. You're at work, so I hope you have a nice stream. Thank you so much, Ferret. Thank you. Thank you. Have a good day. Have a good rest of your time at work. Goat. Hi, Presty. Hello. How are you? Hope you're having a good day today. Hello. Let me change the music. I love Peaky, however, we need something else. Here we go. There's an old head. Hey now. How are you though, Presty? I hope you're having a good day. I'm on the wrong screen. There we go. I'm on the wrong screen. That's better. Hi! Hello, Lucky. It was so nice meeting you at the con. It was so nice. It was so nice to meet you. Hello, how are you? Hope you're having a good day. Or good evening. It's nearly 8 PM. I've started nearly an hour late. Kira! Oh my god, Kira, hi. Hello, Kira, how are you? Hope you're having a good day today. Hello. I'm so happy to be like talking again. It's so fun. And I also have my hands back and everything. It's great. I love it. It's so cool. I'm so ready to be streaming again. It's been far too long. Like all those no mic streams, it's because I thought I was having issues with my headset. So now I thought that I was having issues with my headset and that I couldn't plug it in, it wasn't working, and like it was like Realtek audio drivers and stuff. I thought it was that. I'm a little bit stupid. I'm a teeny bit stupid. I'm a little bit stupid. It ended up being that I plugged it into the red one, not the green one. And it's like the last thing I checked. And the only reason I checked it today is because I was meant to have a video appointment with Universal Credit, and it didn't happen. It didn't happen. Well, I had it by phone instead because they were having issues as well, but I got it all set up and everything. And I thought, I'll try the green one. Go, I know my error. And the thing is, I could have sworn up to this point that it was plugged into the green one. Because I have like 2 ports. I have like 2 greens and 2 reds. And I thought all this time had been plugged into a green, it had been plugged into a red. It was plugged into a red the whole time. It was plugged into a red one. The tech literate. Hey now, I'm not tech literate. I'm not that tech literate. Like I had 2 and they're in 2 separate locations and they're flipped. Like the location of them is flipped on the board. So like you got your red on the green side and then you got green on the red side sort of thing. And this whole time I thought I had it plugged into the upper. Please. Please. I understand the error of my ways now, I promise. I will never do it again. I will never ever do it again. I'm so tech community, I made a mistake. I'm tech literate only when it comes to like this whole thing right here. You get me? Like plugging stuff into a computer? It's not for me. It's not for me, I fear. It's not for me. But I think we should get into like the meat and potatoes of this stream, maybe. What do you guys think? There's an elephant in the room that's like begging to be addressed. Address me, it says. Address me. This is the first stream back since I did London MCM Comic Con. Okay, so hello, welcome in. Hope you're having a good day today. Hello. Welcome into the stream. Am I in the right? I am in the right category. Cool. I did change settings. Sweet. Yeah, we're going to get into like, the meat and potatoes. This is the first stream back after London MCM, which for anyone who is not inside the UK or in like inside the UK the UK convention sphere. There we go. This is cute. Thank you so much. Thank you. All of my cosplays will be boiling, but I hope you have such a good time. I was cosplaying the doorman from Deadlock for like 2 days of the entire weekend, and I was like sufficiently warmed. I was like sufficiently warm. Wearing a jacket was not the play. Yes, so anyone who isn't aware of like London MCM, it is like the biggest TikTok live disconnected. Trying to reconnect you. My internet is so chopped. How is the mainstream, by the way? Like, how is my mainstream? On purple. But yeah, no, I was so warm the entire weekend. But we'll get to the heat wave. We will get there. Yeah, skip this one as well. Some people have been like me, perhaps today. Yeah, I mean, my internet, my router's been like dropping in and out, and I'm 99% certain it's because of the heat. It only started happening when the heat wave started, so that's what I'm gonna. That's my that's my personal theory anyway. Yes. So yeah, for anyone who's not aware, London MCM is the biggest comic and pop culture convention in the United Kingdom. As far as I know, I don't think Birmingham's bigger. I think London is the one. So MCM London takes place at the Excel Centre in London, which is... I don't know my London. I don't know my Londons. Is it East London, or is it like Central London? I guess it counts as Central London. It's like what, Zone 2? Zone 2 of London. Been to it years ago, still remember the queue outside. Oh, it's worse. It's so much worse now. It's I had not been to London MCM since 2018. I was about 14 years old when I last went. I'm now nearly 23. I turn 23 next week. Or a little after next week on the 8th. So I haven't been in what is nearly 10 years, which is kind of scary. But I went as an artist this time. I went as like a vending artist in the artist alley, which was insane, absolutely insane. I'm gonna bring my. I keep looking over to the side. I want to face you guys. How do I preview? Here we go. Congratulations, thank you. That is the whole like stream today. We're going to be talking about London MCM like as a whole and stuff like that. But thank you so much. I mean, it was an insane time. I'm sort of going to be going over like the application process, the prep, the day itself, and how I feel afterwards. And we're going to be talking money. So pre-warned anyone who doesn't want to hear about income and expenses and things, I will be discussing that today, but nearer to the end, so you guys can drop out if you'd like to at the end. I vaguely remember we spoke about Comic Cons and stuff previously. Going as an artist sounds so cool. Thank you so much. Yes, I think we did. I think it was actually last year. This time last year, or even the year before. So it was sometime in October. I think we were talking about it. I think we were talking about October Comic Con. I think. Yes. So I made a list. I made a list of things to talk about. So. It's been so yeah, like I said, I haven't been since 2018, and in 2018 I remember it was busy. Like I went on the Saturday I went on the Saturday, and at that time I stayed at the Novotel because my nan paid for it and she came with us, and it was a really good time. It probably was that long ago. Yeah, it's been kind of insane that it's been that long. Time really does fly. I mean, I have news on Jailbird as well at the end of this, and we're going to be working on Jailbird on stream again soon, which I'm very, very excited about. I'm very excited for that. But London MCM. So, I actually applied for Artist Alley on stream. Don't know if that was allowed. I don't know if you were allowed to do that, but I applied for it on stream back in October. Or November. I think it might have been November. I think I applied in November. So that was that. The applications opened, and I basically said, I think Presty was there at the time. I basically said, should we just apply? Should we just apply and see what happens? Just like have a go. Because I had to make a portfolio and stuff and like show off all like my past tables and stuff. And luckily I have been vending for a couple of years now, only on like a local scale. I've done 3 medium now at the time I've done 3 medium-sized events. I've now done 4, and they are like sort of 1,000 to 3,000 attendee events in my local area, and I also do a local market every week, so I had that experience behind me, and I had a few tables that I could show off. I can actually probably bring up my application. Sorry, I burped. Let me see if I can bring up my application. Let's see. It's going to be in here somewhere. Thank you so much for liking the live. Thank you so much. I'm just going to quickly find my application for London MCM. It's here somewhere. 4 months ago. I believe this is it. So if I do this and this, if I change this to be this, there we go. This isn't going to work for the people on TikTok, I'm afraid. However, people on purple can see it fine. So this was my application for London MCM's Artist Alley. I think, am I allowed to show this? I'm assuming I can. I'm assuming I can. I hope I can. I did it on stream, so I still got in. So, but I wanted to keep it really short and sweet. I didn't want to do anything too much, because for some perspective, I can't hear myself thinking, so I'm going to turn down my music on my end. For some perspective, on average, about 2,000 artists apply to be in the Artist Alley. Anywhere from 2,000 upwards, if I remember right. And by the way, I'm not super experienced in Artist Alley for London MCM. It's my first time doing it. I just wanted to share my experience. So if anything I said is incorrect or not correct information or is outdated information, I will clarify. I'm going to turn this into a YouTube video. I'll clarify down below if anything has changed or if anything was wrong. But I'm not going to be like giving out... I don't think I'm equipped to give out advice, you know? I don't think I'm equipped to give out proper advice for this. So I'm just going to be talking about this as like an anecdotal experience. So this was my application. And I kept it to 12 slides. That was it. And it is a quick introductory welcome page with some of my original artwork of Caleb on it. MCM prioritizes original work, if I remember right. They want you to have most of your stuff as being original work. So I did this little intro. So this says, hello, I'm Getchupion. I'm a digital artist who focuses on 2000s rental nostalgia, oshikatsu goods, cute characters, and colourful artwork. I've been a full-time artist for over 3 years now, and I've been doing markets and events for over 3 years as well. Until now, I've primarily stuck to local events to build my customer service skills and experience in the event space. However, I am now ready to jump into larger events in the London area and beyond. This portfolio will showcase a body of work from 2024 to 25, as well as currently planned merchandise products, previous tables and booths from previous shows, as well as current products I sell on my online shop. And that was like my little elevator pitch, so to speak. My little elevator pitch. And I had some original character work in here. In hindsight, I wish I had made something specifically for this, because looking back on these aren't the strongest, I don't think. I had a bit more original work here, like my original keychain work, my original sort of food and plant artwork, because I do like drawing food. Can't hear music. Oh my gosh, I'm so sorry. I need to turn down the music. I'm so sorry, it's my first time using TikTok in so long. I haven't used TikTok in, oh gosh, 6 months for streaming. I hope that's better. Then again, like, I've got my mic up to 500%. Oh my gosh. Hi, so I've been using the wrong mic the entire time. I've been using the wrong mic on TikTok the entire time. Oh my gosh, I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry. I didn't realize I thought it was all fine. I'm so sorry. Hello. At the beginning I said it was so nice to meet you at London MCM. I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry you didn't hear it. Hi, Ghastly Crazy. Hello. Hello, how have you been? Long time no talk. Long time no talk indeed. How have you been? How have you been? Yeah, I'm so sorry. I haven't used TikTok in like a good 6 months. It's. I thought I'll pop it on and have a go. It's a little bit scuffed, but it's all good. It's all good. I'm having a little chat about my portfolio and stuff that I submitted for London MCM first, because I think that's a good. I wish I could have gone to MCM. I was busy. It was so hot. It was so hot. But no, it was great, and it would have been so cool to see you. But another time, another time. There will come a time. There we go. Now everything's working. Now everything seems like it's all okay. I think we're all good now. Next MCM, maybe. It's like as soon as this one ended, I was like, okay, so same time in October, maybe. I don't know. I don't know. I want to. I really want to. However, I understand how competitive the show is, especially in October. So I might not get in, which I am fully understanding if that's the case. But I wanted to use this like stream as an opportunity to have a little chat about the application process, the preparation process, how it went for me as like a first time MCM vendor. I have all the faith. Like, yeah. Kita, did I ask you how you were, Kita? I can't remember if I did. If I didn't, I'm so sorry. How are you? Have you had a good day today? Yes, so in the application I put an elevator pitch of sorts, which is like a very quick sort of descriptor of who I am, what I do, what I've done, and what my goals are. And that's like, it's meant to be read in like a minute. And then I had like a page of I had 3 pages worth of original work, including like my original character illustrations, my food, my plants, my little chibis, that sort of thing. So like my main things. Now I had a page dedicated to fan work, and I think my fan work page was a bit stronger than my original one, and I kind of regret that. I wish I'd made a stronger original work page. But next time. And that included like some of my very recent work that I'd done for the Renaissance Fair in September of last year. The Renaissance Fair UK, which went okay. I could do a separate video on Renaissance Fair UK, but it feels a little bit late now to be doing something like that, so I don't know. That was Renaissance Fair UK was a very good sort of practice run, I guess. Then I showed off like my recent products and my product photos and stuff, and I had about 2 pages of that. One page was like pure product photos, and then the second was like my edits that I do sometimes on my Instagram page. If you follow me on Instagram, you might know those. They're like the sort of magazine style advert things. And then I had a page of like planned products upcoming, which included my deadlock keychains, like when they were first being outlined, which is seeing them like in their early stages is so fun. I also had a couple of products in here that didn't actually make happen. Like I had an ornate frame like photo card holder that I've yet to make. I had my Menhera like syringe like quicksand keychains, which I made samples of, but they were too expensive to like actually manufacture. And then previous booths, that included like ones from the market, included one from like a uni event I did, and then like my Renaissance Fair UK one. Which, looking back on it, my Renaissance Fair UK booth was kind of weak, but it was a weird stall, so I guess that's why. And then a quick thank you, with like my socials and my website, and like a big sort of splash thing on the side. So I think it was like I wanted to like submit like something like that they could actually quickly flip through. Like I said, I understand they have so many people, and I don't want to like take up too much time. I want to just make it like quick but memorable. and it must have worked because I got in. The wait was about 3 months, maybe bordering on 4, and they did delay the announcement. So if you are applying for London MCM for the first time, expect a delay in the results. I think I got my result on like February 28th, I think, or 27th or something like that. And I applied in November, so you're sort of estimating like nearly, it's about 2 months before the event usually you hear back, which isn't long. That's not long. So I'm in a Discord server for like UK convention creatives, and they recommended as soon as you apply, start prepping. Start prepping as if you got in, because you're going to need that time. And if you don't get in, you can use that stuff for, you can use the stuff that you've made for another time, which was very, very helpful. Very helpful indeed, because it was very stressful. By the way, how did the stream look on Twitch? Because I'm getting like low bitrate warnings, and I'm not sure how it's looking. Let me quickly go onto my page. It's like very laggy, I think. It's fine. I can still make something out of it. I can still make something out of it. It's fine. Let's see. So where did I get to? Application. So I got in. Otherwise I wouldn't be making this stream. I got in and basically prep started immediately. So you have to book a hotel. You have to, if you haven't got, if you're not in London, you have to book a hotel. You have to book your travel. You have to book the actual booth, which booths for the Artist Alley are about £260, and that price has been going up like for a while. I think it's been going up every couple of years. But still, I think 260 for a weekend is not that bad. I think it's a very achievable number, in my opinion. Considering I paid... How much did I pay for the Renaissance Fair? 180 or something like that, I think. Maybe I might have paid more. I think I paid 300. Renaissance Fair UK. Oh no, I was right, 170. 300 for Renaissance Fair UK, which happened at Quakes Park, but I was wrong, it was 170. Now it's for a 3x3 booth. But so it wasn't too far off Renaissance Fair UK in terms of cost. It was about £100 more. But yes, you don't. Yeah, you do have to pay for a booth. You have to pay to be at London MCM or any sort of convention. Most conventions you have to pay to be there. I think the only exception is TwitchCon, which is currently taking place in Rotterdam. If you get a booth for that, I believe it's free. I think. Or it was free. Yes, it's 100% free, but you have to be juried in, which means that you have to basically apply and then they look at your work and decide whether they want you or not. It's like a fully juried process. But yes, you have to pay to be there, because I imagine paying, like, renting out tables is what funds most of the event. I have to follow your Instagram account. I'm trying to post there more. I'm not very good at posting, but I do try. But the actual prep stage, I will be 100% upfront. All the people saying that it's stressful are 100% right. This was the most stressful event I've ever prepped for. And that's mainly because I ran out of money multiple times. I imagine it's different if you have like a stable job outside of MCM. I do not. So a lot of my stuff was funded through commissions, other market sales, that kind of thing. And I will be upfront, I did have to ask for some money at one point. And I've paid that back now. That was like I asked for a loan from a family member, and I was given that money and I've paid it back. So don't have to worry about that anymore. But it was definitely the most stressful event that I've ever done by a long shot, because there was a lot of things happening at the time. There was a lot of to be very brief about it, my grandmother-in-law passed away like 2 weeks before I got the notification for MCM. Oh no, 2 weeks before the 2 weeks prior the funeral happened. So I was in a bit of a weird spot, and no, it's okay. It's okay. I've very much sort of I'm in like the acceptance sort of phase of it now. But it was a very weird time, because it was like I was equally having the best time of my life and the worst time of my life at the exact same time. And obviously, like, not a relative is not going to pass away in every single MCM prep stage. At least I hope it. I hope they don't. I hope they don't. I never want. Please don't do that again. But yeah, it was a weird one. It was a weird one. But life moves on, as they say, and I had a con to prepare for, so that is what happened. And once things were sent off, like once things were ordered, I get that my nan passed away recently too, and it put me in a swing. Yeah, I'm so sorry for your loss. Yeah, it puts you in such a weird spot, especially when things outside of that are going well. You're in this weird spot of like, things are going well for me and things are going fine. There's also this thing happening at the same time, which is the opposite of good. It's a very weird time. Very strange. But I can probably let me bring up my catalogue next. We're gonna start talking about products and things next. So I got my table assignment about 2 weeks before the show, and I was in Artist Alley E number 8, which was right by the stage right here. This was a lovely spot, by the way. I loved this spot so much. It was so good. But the general thing is you make a catalogue before, or most people make a catalogue before London MCM begins, so that they can show off all the products they're making. And there's a lot, I think, social media work in the run-up to London MCM, if you're a small artist who hasn't quite got that following yet, is so important. I would argue I would not have had the sales I had if I had not done the social media promotion beforehand. So I had my like meet my OCs section. I had this actually on my table, and people actually rate Redless. So I gotta have a short stream. Thank you so much. Have a good rest of your day. Thank you. Bye. Goodbye, goodbye, goodbye. Yes, so I had this like on my table, this like little display of all my OCs on with like little descriptions, and people actually read it, and I was like, oh my god, this is so cool. People actually reading stuff about my OCs, which I didn't expect, and people really loved my OCs like last weekend. I was so happy. I also made some signage in here as well. Can you just disregard this? And I organized my I tried to organize my catalog into sort of original and fan work sections as much as I could, but I did run out of pages. So I made a couple of new designs for this con. All of these, like, I made my 6 OC designs were new, but everything else was a restock, except for I made a new shaker charm of Club Penguin for the event. I expanded my range of Deadlock keychains to include the Old Gods New Blood characters. And I also debuted my photo card holder keychains at this event. My new ones, the Idle mode ones, the ice cream themed ones, they also debuted at this event. But they were already made, so it was kind of like they were going to debut anyway. Stickers were the main thing I debuted. I debuted a lot of new stickers at London MCM. I debuted 1, 2, 3, 4, 8, 12. I debuted about 16 new stickers and 1, 2, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13 new sticker sheets. That was the main sort of bulk of my work, and it was kind of hell. It was kind of like a hell and nightmare. I stayed up to 2 a.m. doing those. I would not recommend doing that ever. It maybe wasn't worth it, but also a lot of the new designs I made did sell really well, so maybe it was worth it. I also made t-shirts for this event. This is my first time making t-shirts. Well, it was not my first time, but I made t-shirts a long time ago. But this is like my first time making proper t-shirts with a proper t-shirt design. And they turned out very, very good. These are just mock-ups that I made, but they actually turned out really, really good. I don't have any on hand to show, but they were very good. And I'm very happy with how they turned out, and definitely making t-shirts again in the future. Star button badges were mostly artwork turned into badges. Mini charms were all new except for these like free like nostalgia ones that I made. Prints were all like pre-existing work, and then I couldn't fit everything in, so I had this little thing at the end. So the prep was, like I said, the most stressful thing I've ever done. I think arguably it was more stressful than the actual event itself. Because once you get to the event, you're just kind of like there, and you're kind of like doing the selling, and that's kind of it. I did consider taking commissions through the weekend. I'm glad I did not, because it was so busy and very overwhelming, and I don't think I could have taken commissions at the same time. So I'm glad I didn't do that. But let's talk about... So I've talked about the product making and the expensive stuff. Let's talk costs. Let's talk money. Let's talk money for the first time this stream. Where are we? Where's Clip Studio Paint? Here we go. Oh my gosh, no, I didn't mean to do that. There we go. Let's talk finances. So we're gonna be doing a financial breakdown. Let me put my glove on. So let's talk finances. Let's do it in a big pen. Finances with like an evil face, because spending money sucks. So finances. To be at London MCM, how much does it cost? I'm glad you asked. So we already talked about the booth, which was 260. But once you're in London, you need a place to stay. So you need a hotel. You need a hotel. So hotel. My original hotel I booked was about 760. I wanted something cheaper, and I also wanted to pay up front, so I changed my hotel. And the new hotel was further away, but it only cost 467. You actually need to get up to London next, or down from London, wherever you're coming from. You need to get to London somehow if you're not from London. So let's talk travel. For me and my helper, who was my mum, it cost me £109 in train ticket costs, as well as a unknown amount in DLR costs. DLR is the Docklands Light Railway. That'll take you to your location, to the Excel Centre, unless you're taking the Elizabeth line, which is the Underground. I don't know how much I spent on the DLR. I can't tell you. But taxis, if you want to get a taxi, for me personally, a taxi from the XL to the station that we were staying near was about 40. It was a 20-minute drive. So, I mean, £2 a minute is not awful for a taxi, in my opinion. Especially one was like very convenient, because for some context, on Sunday there was a West Ham versus Leeds game at the West Ham like football stadium. I'll tell you why that's bad. They were coming out the same time that we were coming out of the Excel Centre after backing up from London MCM. Have you ever tried to get on a train with football fans? Have you ever tried to get on a DLR with football fans? That's the real question. So I wanted a taxi. We booked a taxi, and that is what we chose to do. So you need to eat while you're in London. You need to eat food. You need to have your breakfast, lunch, and dinner. We, for most of the time, ate breakfast at the Excel at the Costa Coffee there, because it was like the easiest option, and also it wasn't that expensive. It was like the same price as any other Costa. And then we had to have dinner, and then we had to have lunch. I think we spent about, I mean, for like a ballpark number, I think we spent about 150 on food the entire weekend, maybe. So we're getting through the money now. The money's going up. So let's talk production next. Actually making your stuff. Your keychains, your badges, your prints, all that jazz. This is what I had to ask about. This is what I had to ask for money about. This is where I ran out of money. Production cost me about £1,000. 800 of that was given to me, and I paid that off. So this is an expense. I paid off this. This is a very depressing song. I don't want to do this. There we go. I'm trying to think what other expenses there were. I have a book. I have a book somewhere with like all of my expenses in. Actually, it's right in front of me. I can't look to save my life. Right, there's some charges in here I don't recognize. I also paid my helper for the weekend. So, help. My help was my mum, but your helper can be your friend. It can be a family member. It can be, you can split a table and share with another artist and help each other out. But I paid my mum 400 for the entire weekend, which was, I'd like to pay more, but that time will come where I'm able to do that. So for now, it was 400. 400? Yeah, 400. So that comes up to, let's do some calculator. It comes to a little over 2 grand. 2,192 total in expenses. Before you've even like gotten to the event, you're paying this. Or while you're at the event, you're paying this. It's an expensive show. It can be cheaper. It can be made a lot cheaper. If you drive up instead of taking the train, chances are you're going to be a lot better off. If you want a hotel closer to the XL, chances are it's going to be a lot more expensive. But also you're cutting out your DLR costs and things by doing that, and you're cutting out taxi costs during the weekend. If you made your own food, if you had an Airbnb and made your own dinner every night, your food costs would probably be a lot lower. If you already have a lot of stock, you might not need to make as much stock, and you must stock your production might be a lot cheaper. On the other hand, if you don't have as much stock, it's going to be a lot more expensive. It's going to be a lot more expensive, and I did not make enough this con. I did not bring enough stock of a lot of my stuff. However, I also physically couldn't, because it was me and my mum with a big case each for the stock and like a small case each, And we were trying to like lug these around on like the DLR and things. This was a nightmare. If I had the option next time, if I have the option, I would pay someone to bring stock up for me. Or at least like drive us up to the XL with the stock to hopefully eliminate this travel cost and this DLR cost. And I would reinvest that into getting a hotel closer to the XL. I would like to stay near the XL next time. That would be so nice. Just being able to walk back to the hotel would be so nice. Booth will chances will be the same. I don't think the booth fee is going to change for October. It might next year, maybe. But those were my main expenses for the weekend. And just to preface, a table will give you a tablecloth, 2 chairs, and 2 badges for you and a helper or second artist. That is what you get. So you don't have to bring any chairs, you don't have to bring any tables, unless you want to, because I did see something really cool. Someone behind me had their table set up like here, and they were like serving people here, and they'd put a fold-out table next to them with their stock on. Absolutely groundbreaking. I was obsessed with that concept, because they didn't have to lean down behind them to get into their suitcases and stuff. They just had to turn to the side. Their stuff was there. Very convenient. And it also, because it wasn't like being used to like actually sell stuff on, I think it was okay. They didn't get in trouble for it, so I'm assuming it was all good. But that was the prep stage and everything like that. Let's talk about the actual day of setup. So setup day was from 2, but I think it might have been from 12. But we went at 2. So traveling with the cases, we went up on the Thursday. And like I said, we had to get those cases on the train from where I live to London. And it took about an hour and a half, maybe a little bit more, to get to London. And we had to basically lug these cases on. The plan was one of us gets on the train, case A, case B, the rest of the cases on. And it's going to be the inverse on the way back. And that's what we did. And it worked. But the hotel we stayed in, we stayed in Stratford, which was okay. I mean, Stratford's fine. Would I stay there again? Probably not, out of choice. However, it was a nice enough hotel. It was very air conditioned, which was lovely for the weekend, considering we had that heat wave. Food was okay. Not like a ultimate winner or anything, but it was fine. But I mean, the rest of it was fine. Considering the price, it was a pretty good hotel, I'd say. But we weren't there long because we had to leave to get back on the DLR and go up to the XL and set up. And during setup, you have to wear a high-vis vest and everything, health and safety reasons. That was very fun. I felt like it, as soon as I put on that vest, like it felt like official, and I was kind of like freaking out a little bit. But I don't have any pictures. But when I do the video, I will like show some pictures on screen of what it was like to sort of set up and stuff. I don't have many pictures or videos of setup, but I have like a picture of like my name on the table and stuff, which was very, very cool. And all that jazz. Setup was like the most relaxing day, I'd say, because I'd already practiced my setup at home, so I wasn't too concerned, and everything worked there. So, but I also got to meet my table neighbors, which was really nice. All of my table neighbors. There was 2 people to the side of me and like another person. All really nice. I'll put their socials up here. They were really nice people, and it was really nice to have my first MCM surrounded by some really sweet people. especially because I was so nervous. I was so nervous about doing London MCM because I got a lot of imposter syndrome in the run up to the show. I was worried that I sort of didn't belong there, sort of thing. I didn't feel experienced enough or skilled enough at art. But I mean, it's the thing of like you've been chosen to be there, sort of thing. It's okay to feel a little bit nervous, but you definitely deserve to be there, kind of thing. So it's very, very. I managed to get over it in like the first day. It was wonderful meeting you at MCM. Hello. It was wonderful meeting you as well. Thank you so much. You were so nice. I didn't quite realize at first until you said, "Oh, I regret not buying more of the photocard holder keychains." I was like, "Oh my god, it's you!" No, it was so nice. It was so nice, and we're just having a talk about it right now, like how MCM went and stuff. I'm just talking about like the setup day and stuff. I cried once throughout the entire week, which I'm proud of myself. I'm proud of myself. I only cried once throughout the entire weekend, and it was over such a stupid thing. After setting up, we decided to go and get dinner at Westfield Shopping Centre, and I've never been to Westfield. Excuse my language, it's fucking huge. It's huge. It's massive. We got lost in Westfield Shopping Centre. Just the outside section where you go around, we got lost. And we were trying to find a Wagamama. We were trying to find the Westfield Shopping Centre Wagamama. And I was convinced that it would be outside. And on the outside section, and the map was showing me on the outside section. So I'd put my phone away because we're in London, and we'd walk up a certain way, and then my phone would show us going in a complete other direction. And we were like, okay, let's just go and find that restaurant we saw before. It looked really nice. And I was like stood there, like walking along, almost like crying. I felt so embarrassed that I couldn't find this bloody Wagamama inside the Westfield Shopping Centre. Turns out it was inside the Westfield Shopping Centre, not outside. Luckily what we had was really nice. We went to a Italian restaurant called Fano, and we had like a seafood pasta, and I will admit that was really good. That was such a good pasta. Yeah, it's absolutely huge. I mean, we went in to go and get some hangers in Primark, and it's like a 3-story Primark. It's massive. But I felt so intimidated, and I was like so tired after setting up. I was like, I just want to go back to the hotel and like curl up and sleep. So that's what we did, and it was a nice sleep. I slept all right, and then obviously the day after was the first day of MCM. It was like the time to actually go and do the thing. So got dressed up as the doorman from Deadlock. Got on the DLR. It was kind of awkward because it was like commuter time on Friday, and there weren't that many people going to Comic Con. Not at that time, anyway. And I was sort of sat there, kind of like awkwardly, like, oh no. You're going to try and do everything on time? Yes. I hope so. I really hope so. I'm going to apply, and hopefully I get in. Hopefully, maybe. I hope. Please read pop. Please let me in again. Thank you. But yes, definitely October, and I'm hoping to have more stock, more stuff. Fingers crossed. It's gonna be good, hopefully. But once we actually got to the show, and like, I will say the Friday was like, Friday was my best day of the entire weekend, which is like wild for an event for Friday to be the best day. However, there is a correlation. I sold the most Deadlock stuff on Friday, and I ran out of a lot of Deadlock stuff on Friday. Like I ran out of a couple of characters on Friday and like early Saturday morning, and I think that impacted my sales for the rest of the weekend because the Deadlock stuff was so popular. But it was a really good Friday, and I think a lot of people had a really good Friday. Like an unprecedentedly good Friday, and it was a really busy day as well. Like, it wasn't far off Sunday in terms of like the amount of people that were there, and a lot of people on Friday were there to like buy stuff. It was the day of buying stuff. I had like my highest ticket sales on Friday as well. That's so cool. I'm so happy you sold out. I had to tell your store down. Oh my god, yes. I heard from so many people that the artist alley was so hard to navigate this time. Like, it was so busy and difficult to sort of get through. And I did go out for a little bit on the Sunday, and I had the exact same experience. It was so busy. I luckily I knew generally where all the artists I wanted to see were, but I was still sort of going like over the top, like looking over the top of crowds, trying to find the artist in like the sides before I went down the aisle. It was I got lost a couple of times. But yeah, I mean Friday was insane. And I was also so tired at the end of the day. I wasn't quite ready for it at that point. I went back on the DLR and I was nearly sick on the DLR. I felt so ill. I was hot, I was tired, I was overwhelmed. And I got on that DLR and I was like, I can't be doing this. I cannot be doing this. And I'd like actually sit down, like just like have a breather at the DLR station. The heat was crazy. It was absolutely insane. It's still hot now. Luckily, it's a bit more bearable now. It's not like super hot, but it's still very warm. Very warm indeed. Oh my god, my throat. I'm not used to talking so much. But yeah, that night this was the night we had food inside the travel lodge. We had food inside the travel lodge that night, and I was so exhausted. Yeah, I think I got a little bit. I've got a bit of a blocked nose and stuff. I think con flu is still like very much a real thing, where you get sick after conventions, and also I think just being in that heat for so long, and being around all those people, it's like very exhausting, sort of emotionally as well. I had to. So I slept like a rock that night. I woke up maybe once in the entire night. And then I woke up the next day, put on my doorman cosplay again, and went out again. But this time it was a lot easier because I didn't have to switch at Canning Town for the DLR service. It just went straight to Beckton, which had a stop at the XL, which was a lot better. We also got breakfast in the XL at the Costa Coffee, which was lovely. I had a hot dog for lunch. I don't know. Saturday was kind of like everyone said, the most insane day of the weekend. However, my income was lower, but my sales were higher. I had about 20 more sales on Saturday, but I was about £100 lower than the day before. So it was really interesting. It was a lot more smaller purchases on Saturday. And I think that's definitely like the norm, because I also noticed that I had a lot of like younger customers on Saturday. A lot of my customers were sort of the age of like 10 to 15. Skip Saturday, yeah, it was so busy. And my mum found like the mythical like quiet toilets. It was absolutely perfect. If you went upstairs, so in the artist alley, if you went right to the back of the artist alley hall, there were like these lifts, and going down took you out to like the waterfront, but going up took you to these like conference rooms at the top, like a long row of conference rooms, and there were toilets up there, and I don't think many people knew they were there, and they were open, so I'm assuming they were like allowed to be used. So whenever I needed to like have a breather, I just like went upstairs, and I used the bathrooms up there, and they were great. But also they have like windows alongside like the corridor, and you can look down at all the people in like the hall. It was like looking at a bunch of little lamps. It was really funny. But seeing, like, you could see just how busy it was from the overhead like view. It was insane. It was not quite like health and safety era busy, but it was definitely like at capacity. I'd say the XL was at capacity that day. But I heard they were still selling tickets on the door, so like a little bit unsafe, a little bit scary. Yeah, it was so, so crowded. And one thing that concerned me, I don't know if it's because I was a vendor, but my bag was not checked all weekend by the security staff, which felt a little bit scary. Like in the morning, all the people that doing re-entry were just able to walk in, and not many people were getting their bags checked. I don't know if this was just for exhibitors, but I don't know. That didn't feel very safe. Because on the Sunday we came in with our suitcases from the hotel, and they just said go through, and we were like, we've got like whole suitcases and everything here. Okay, you were checked twice. Maybe it was just exhibitors then. Maybe just they were letting through exhibitors, but even then, that feels a little bit like sus. But then again, I guess they can't check everyone, especially considering that there's what, like 100,000 people or something there at on Saturday. I guess it's like a thing they can't check everyone, which is fine, and I understand that. But I do remember last time I went to MCM as like a guest in 2018, there was actually a bomb threat. This was so we were staying in the Novotel, and it was like 6 p.m. and I was like running a bath, I think. I was like getting ready to take a bath, and the fire alarm went off. Like the whole hotel-wide fire alarm went off. And we were like, okay, so I turned off the bath, obviously. I find my mum and my nan, and we were like, okay, we're gonna go down the fire escape stairs, and we went up fire escape stairs and everything like that. And it turns out the entire XL at the same time also got evacuated. This was like at the end of the day, so people were already leaving, but it was like 6 p.m, so it was an hour before Saturday close. And so all the hotels in the area also had their fire alarms gone off, so we all went downstairs and like the outside fire assembly points, and there were all these like cosplayers. This was October, by the way, 2018 October. We all stood outside like the XL and the Novotel and the Ibis and like all that, and we were like all standing there awkwardly for like over an hour. And then there was like this like fire engines started turning up, fire engines and ambulances, and we were like, oh, what the hell's happened inside the XL? Turns out it was a bomb threat, but it was like a false bomb threat. And right by the XL, like there's like a I think it's like a chicken shop and like a pub. So all the cosplayers were just going and buying chicken and getting absolutely sloshed in the pub. It was really it was really funny. It was great. It was kind of like an iconic moment, but also if it was real, it would have been terrifying. So I probably shouldn't say that. But luckily, false alarm, nothing happened, and we went to the con the next day, and it was completely fine. But interesting time, definitely. Wouldn't like that happening again. But moving on, Sunday, last day of the convention, we checked out our hotel. I didn't cosplay on this day because I put my cosplay in my suitcase and stuff. We took our suitcases onto the DLR, took them to the convention, and the plan was to do the con day, break down, put it in the case, get on DLR or get taxi, get to station, go home, be home by like 10 p.m. Which happened. That did happen. That entire plan happened almost flawlessly. I'm going to say almost. So, like I said earlier, there was a football match on Sunday. A Premier League qualifier football match between West Ham and Leeds. And it was a home match, which means it was at West Ham Football Stadium. The football match, yeah. The West Ham versus Leeds football match. My table neighbour was from Spain, and he had to pack up really quickly. He had a flight at 10 o'clock in the evening, and he packed up really quickly. He packed up in like 30 minutes to 45 minutes. And we said to him, if you go now, you might just miss the West Ham fans coming out of the West Ham stadium and get to Stratford in time to get your bus to Stansted and then get on your flight, so on and so forth. And he was like, great, thank you so much. And he left. We took another hour and a half, not hour and a half, but an hour. Hour and a half to finish breaking down, getting everything packed. And we saw the time, it was like 6 o'clock, and we thought, okay, no, we're gonna get a taxi. We're not gonna get on the DLR with what could possibly be, we didn't know the results at the time, we didn't know who won. We're not gonna get on the DLR with potentially really pissed off West Ham fans. We're gonna get a taxi. So that's what we did. We got a taxi. It was great. It was a lovely air-conditioned taxi. Cost £40, which is not too bad. I mean, it was 25-minute drive. And I said, right, if we can get into Stratford Station, we can get the 6:48 direct back to home, and we'll be home by like 8 p.m. Perfect plan. Perfect. Except for the fact they barricaded the door at Stratford Station. As we were driving around to Stratford Station, I pointed out to Mum and said, there's lots of people in burgundy shirts right now. And then it hit me that they were like West Ham football fans. And I was like, oh my God. We didn't miss the football fans. And they blocked off the Stratford Station doorway, so nobody could get in. And it was mainly because of a health and safety issue, because they didn't want to have too many people crowding the platform. Perfectly fine. Fair enough. I completely understand. The West Ham fans didn't understand. They were shouting, they were yelling, and I'll give them their graces. It wasn't everyone. There were people who were normal. But they were yelling, they were shouting, they were... You were in Stratford Station as well? Oh my gosh. They were so loud. They were so loud. Yeah, I mean, like when they were like barricaded at the door, it was like they were like trying to push through, and there was like a dad with his like 5-year-old daughter, and she needed to go to the toilet, and he said, "Look, she really needs the toilet. Can you please go through?" And obviously you let them through. So the staff let these 2 people through only, and the entire group like erupted into, well, why are they allowed to go and not us, sort of thing. It was like, oh my God, please just let us through. But luckily the staff handled it really well. I think the staff were as best they could have been. They got everyone who needed lift. They got those people aside and said, right, you're taking the lift. And that included us, that included an elderly couple, that included someone else with a massive suitcase, which I think also just come from MCM. It was... But then we missed our train because of that. We missed our 6:48. So we had to... I think it's only by like 2 minutes as well, which was really annoying. So we got in at like 6:50. So that was very annoying, but we had to wait for an hour. And like you said, they were so loud. They were so loud. But managed to get home in the end. Yes, I saw the one in October. There was a post because some guy put his toddler in like the overhead storage bin of the train, like the overhead shelf where you put your cases. Someone put their like 3-year-old in the upper thing, which was yeah. I think it was a safety like thing. It was like to keep them safe, because like totally makes sense. I mean, there was like the whole row was like filled with like grown men, so it makes sense. You want to keep your 3-year-old safe, and there was no seats left, so he just put his 3-year-old in the overhead and just told him to lay down, and just watched him on the train. It was funny, but also like, oh my gosh, kind of dangerous. But I respect the innovation. I respect the innovation of putting your child in the overhead shelf. Luckily, I didn't get to see any of that this time, because actually, to give, by the time we got on our train at sort of 7:48, there weren't as many football fans left. But we got to Ashford International, which is not my station, but we stopped there for like quite a while. And I saw on the other side of the platform, the train was absolutely full of people coming back up from the coast from their days out. I mean, I was so grateful to be on our train at that point because it wasn't actually too busy at that point. I just sort of put on my headphones and like sort of dozed for the rest of the way. But we got back at like 9 p.m, so it wasn't too bad. Yeah, I stood for about half the journey and then we got to Ashford and I was able to sit down. Oh my god, one, the toilet. No, that's... Oh my god, I'm so sorry. That's like nightmare scenario train. That is like evil train. Oh my gosh. No, our one was fine after a while. The further we got down, the better it got. They sold out of beer. Oh my gosh. Not the beer. Not the beer. Anything but the beer. I mean, me and my mum were on the platform and we weren't able to go back up to Stratford, like the main station or anything. We just sort of got thrown down there and we're like told to wait. So we wanted to go back up and like either A, go to the loo or B, check our bank accounts. And we couldn't do either of those. But we did get back eventually. About 9 p.m. we got back. 9:30 back to my house, which was really nice actually. Sleeping in your own bed after sleeping in a hotel for 4 days is like the weirdest feeling. It's so strange. But it was good. It was really good. MCM was one of the best weekends of my life, both in terms of just how much I enjoyed it and also the business side of things. I'm going to have a quick chat about money, how much I made, that sort of thing. I know that's not something people like to sort of hear sometimes, so if you are not comfortable with hearing about money or how much people made, feel free to sort of dissipate or mute me for like 5 minutes. But I want to be transparent about how much I earned. And I also want to preface that this was sort of I think this is very out of the ordinary. I don't know if I'll make this much next time. I don't think I will. I think this was very like an uncharacteristically good weekend for me. But in total, with cash and card, I made £6,011 across the entire weekend. About 1,000 of that was cash sales. So I think taking cash is important. If you can take cash, even if it's just like exact change only, I think taking cash is quite important. Thank you. I'm so happy with how much I made. My main goal was 4K, which I hit on Saturday afternoon. No, Saturday morning. Saturday morning I hit 2K, I think. Sorry, 4K. Somewhere like at that point, I made about 4K, like it's partway through Saturday. And my upper goal was 6K, which I hit 10 minutes before show close on Sunday. So I definitely... I hit my upper goal, which was the best case scenario for the entire weekend. And I will definitely, as I said before, I think that's uncharacteristically good for me. I don't expect to like make that much in October. I might, and I'll be very welcome if I do, but I wouldn't fully expect it. I think because it was my first time being there, there was like people hadn't bought my stuff before, that sort of thing. So that was definitely a factor. I don't know. But if we put that with my expenses from earlier, which was about 2K, I went home with about 4K profit, which is very good. Very good. Very happy with that. And part of that is already gone. I've put 1,000 of that into a savings account for next year. Yeah, no, not next year. In October, I've put 1K away to start saving up for MCM October. I had to pay back that 800. I had to factor in taxes. So there was a lot of things to sort of adjust and account for, but I'm so sorry, I had to breathe. I'm sure you will. You are so pretty. Thank you so much. Thank you. I really do appreciate it. it was a very strange feeling of like people coming up and saying, I've been looking for you, like I really love your artwork and I've been looking for your stall. That is the weirdest feeling, but also like the best feeling in the world. And not something I'm very used to either. It's a very humbling is not the right word. I'm trying to think of like the right term. Because like I could make all the money in the world. I could make thousands and thousands. However, there is very little that sort of compares to someone saying, I really love your work. Yeah, I mean, it's very difficult to describe. It's very difficult to describe that feeling. Yeah. It's a very complex feeling. I'm not sure what to make of it. I really do. But it makes me very, very happy. That's why I wish I talked to you more. It's so busy. It was so busy. And I had some great conversations over the weekend. There were so many nice people. I don't think I had a single bad experience the entire weekend. But I know a lot of people did. I know there were a lot of complaints this year about overcrowding and other safety concerns. And just, I've heard that it was a very much like, it was a very like so much to do but not enough type of convention. Like so much to get so little in terms of like things to do and just like general like vibes, I guess. Which I can fully understand. Plus some very valid complaints from North Hall about North Hall not getting nearly as much traffic about as the South Hall. Which, like I said, fully understandable concern, because I saw a video of like there was another artist in the North Hall in like a retailer table, and their view was literally a wall and all of like the wooden pallets stacked up that the other like bigger vendors had used to bring all their stuff in. It was literally just a wall and those pallets stacked up, and like pigeons. It was so quiet, the pigeons were congregating there. The XL pigeons were inside the North Hall chilling out for like nearly the entire weekend. Yeah, they didn't signpost North Hall properly, in my opinion. There were a lot of artists over there who'd paid for like retail booths and basically got like a really like bad position. I think it's about time the XL start, not the XL, ReedPop start to consider maybe doing a tiered artist alley system. A bit like Dokumi does, I think, where they have like smaller artist tables and then like bigger artist tables, and it's all in the same area. I think it's about time to start maybe looking into that. Where it's separate from retailers, but it's still like a retail size spot, maybe? I don't know. That's what I think needs to happen, perhaps. Because that also gives artists an opportunity to sort of scale and grow over time. Yeah, I heard there wasn't as much bootleg stuff this time, which is always very nice to see. I still saw a lot of people walking around with like those like mystery bag like things, but it was much better. Yeah, there's definitely a few that slipped through the cracks, but it was a lot less, and I think that was a very, very big sentiment this time. There wasn't as much AI or bootleg stuff, which was very, very nice. Yeah, it was a good weekend, I think, and I would love to do it again. Same time in October, guys, maybe? Same time in October? But gosh, I mean, I've only just almost got unpacked, sorry. I've been counting all my stock as I go and stuff. For anyone curious, my best-selling products of the entire weekend were keychains, badges, photo card keychains, which I'm so happy about. I'm so happy about that one. Stickers and sticker sheets. My worst sellers of the weekend were tote bags and prints. Tote bags and prints did very poorly this event. But I think it's because I didn't really push them hard enough, and they were sort of off into the corner. I'd love to display them a bit better this time. Like next time, I mean, if I can. And I would also like to, next time bring more stock of what I know is going to sell well. Because now I know what's going to sell well. I can sort of adapt my stock to bring the more popular stuff and make new stuff at the same time. But there's a lot of, for example, there's a lot of button badges that I didn't sell much of this time. Let me see. I didn't count my star badges yet, but I know there's some that didn't do as well. Like my Boys Be Made ones, my Pokemon ones didn't do so hot. Yeah, there's definitely a couple that didn't do so good. But I know that maybe not to bring those next time, I'll bring less of them. And I can work on sort of uplifting other products that did do well. Oh, plush keychains and shaky plush badges and shaky keychains did really well as well. I sold out of Club Penguin shaky keychains this weekend, which was crazy. I bought 20 of those and I sold all of them. Same with the plush badges. I bought 20 of those and sold all of them. It's like, what? I've never sold out of anything at a show. Of like note, anyway. Yeah, it was. Oh, hi, Woozy. Hello. When are you playing Paralyzed and making a work dungeon? I want to buy Paralyzed so bad. I want to buy Paralyzed. I really want to buy it. I've been thinking about it all day. I really want Paralyzed. I think I might buy it after the stream. I think I'll buy Paralyzed after the stream. Which will be soon. That'll be very soon. I think I'll be playing Paralyzed. But I'm not making a work dungeon. I'm making a lovely little house. However, is there Paralyzed CC yet? Because I want like some cute clothes.